We're gonna talk today about 4 real reasons why I'm an advocate for two-strokes and why learning to ride a motorcycle on a two-stroke can actually help you become a better rider on a 4-stroke. Modern 4-strokes are arguably the best motorcycles we've ever had. And honestly, when it comes to competitions and racing, with exception to maybe the hard enduro discipline, you're probably better off competing on a 4-stroke because they're just that good. There are a lot of things about a 2-stroke that helps you learn proper riding skills and develop things that may take longer on the 4-strokes, or because they're so good, you might start to develop some bad habits. Now, personally, I learned how to ride a motorcycle on a 2-stroke and spent a lot of my early years riding a 2-stroke, as well as many other riders from my same generation and generations previous. However, we're currently to a point where there's so many 4-strokes now, I wonder if there's gonna be a lot of new riders that start their riding career and their riding experience on a 4-stroke. Now, the one good thing we still have going is that a lot of youth motorcycles and mini bikes are still 2-strokes. So a lot of riders, whether they're getting into riding at a younger age or when they're adults, they're beginning to ride on 2-strokes. And I always will be an advocate for initiating your riding experience and learning how to ride a motorcycle on a 2-stroke. And we're gonna talk today about 4 real reasons why I'm an advocate for 2-strokes and why learning to ride a motorcycle on a 2-stroke can actually help you become a better rider on a 4-stroke. Reason number 1 has to do with throttle and clutch control. And this really is just how the engines work and how they create power. On a 2-stroke motorcycle, you have a very narrow window of power and a specific RPM zone. Whereas on a 4-stroke, they're much more linear. If we take a look at 2 different graphs comparing the power curve on both a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke, you'll notice that the 2-stroke has this sort of spike where the power is really isolated to one zone in the RPMs. Whereas a 4-stroke, you have power pretty much throughout the entire power curve, and it's really much easier to manage that power. Now, the real reason why this is so important to riding motorcycles is that motorcycles have manual transmissions, and you as a rider are responsible for modulating the clutch and throttle control and making sure that you maintain good momentum and good traction. If you initiate your riding career on a 4-stroke, you likely will miss out on a little bit of that extra skill that you can fine-tune if you begin your riding career on a 2-stroke. If you really want to get the most out of your riding and improve your skills to the best of your abilities, I always am an advocate for spending more time on a 2-stroke. This is going to allow you to really fine-tune those clutch and throttle control movements so that you can stay right in that power window where you need to be and honestly just maximize the amount of traction and momentum that you get. Reason number 2 has to do with braking. Now, inside our online course, I spend a lot of time teaching riders about deliberate braking or being very intentional about their braking. This is a bad habit that I've developed in my riding career where I often kind of drag my rear brakes unnecessarily. Over the last couple years, I've tried becoming more conscious of when I use my rear brake and both the front and rear brake combined. On a 2-stroke, you have to be a lot more conscious of deliberate braking and your braking zones because you're missing out on a lot of that engine braking that is just naturally occurring on a 4-stroke. On a 4-stroke, you can enter obstacles or corners with not as much precision or maybe a little bit more lazy because you can rely on that engine braking to slow you up. Advanced riders are going to use this to their benefit and they're gonna brake even harder or stay on the throttle longer, but a lot of maybe amateur riders may be kind of lazy about their braking. So I always advocate that spending some time on a 2-stroke will kind of fine-tune as well your braking zones and just allow you to be a little bit more conscious of when you use your brakes. Reason number 3 is momentum. Now, 2-strokes are typically lighter weight. They're more susceptible to kind of changes in direction or deflections from obstacles on the trail. And you can honestly sense your momentum over obstacles a little bit easier. Now, 4-strokes, I will admit, they are in general just a little bit easier to carry momentum over obstacles. However, when riding a 2-stroke, you're going to become a little bit more aware of how you're rolling over obstacles, how much speed or momentum or energy you need to carry over or through different types of obstacles, whether that be sand, rocks, or logs. By spending more time on a two-stroke, you're going to become more aware of your momentum and a little bit more precise when gauging how much momentum you need for a certain obstacle. The fourth reason is maintenance. I typically refer new riders to two strokes more frequently because they often are just a little bit easier and less expensive to maintain, often due to just less moving parts inside the engine. If you were to experience an engine failure, you're likely to spend a little bit less money repairing your two-stroke than you are a four-stroke. So for new riders that are just getting into riding, I typically point them in that direction just in the event that if something were to go wrong, it's not gonna break the bank and they can repair things in their own garage. Those are 4 reasons why riding a two-stroke can actually make you faster on your four-stroke. And the first 3 are really focused on riding skills when you're out on the bike. Tip number 4 is more of a garage skill. If you practice working on your bike and gain some confidence, then moving forward, you'll only become a better mechanic and just improve your overall experience and enjoy riding motorcycles that much more. Now remember that different motorcycles are more conducive for different types of riding styles and different types of terrains. So a two-stroke might not be for every rider. However, I'm always inviting riders to spend more time on a two-stroke, especially earlier in their career, so that they develop those good clutch control and throttle control skills. I've seen a lot of riders that have been riding even for years that have not even mastered the basic clutch and throttle controls because they immediately jumped to a large bore four-stroke like a 350 or a 450. And they're missing out on so many fine-tuned skills that you can learn on a smaller bore two-stroke. So I invite all riders, whether you own a two-stroke or not, to spend a little bit more time focusing on these different skills. And even if you don't own a two-stroke, if you spend a lot of your time riding a four-stroke, you can still become mindful of these different skills and practice them on your four-stroke. If you guys like this type of content and you're interested in learning more riding skills and improving your off-road riding skills, then head over to ridewiththeknights.com. There we offer a full off-road riding course teaching all types of riders how to become faster, safer, and more efficient. You can even check out our free 1-hour training where we go over our 10 off-road riding secrets. That will give you kind of a taste of our type of content and what you can learn inside the course. Head over to ridewiththeknights.com and don't forget to subscribe to the Ride with the Knights YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any other videos. See you guys out on the trail.